Greetings everyone, and welcome back. Today we shall continue our series on Samurai and Bushido poetry. Among today's poems are what I regard as particularly special death poems, as they concern one of the most famous historical events of medieval Japan, the tale of the 47 Ronin. More shall be explained about this story within our reading, but the events concern a matter of great loyalty and honor from 47 samurai to their deceased master. In the absence of their lord, a samurai becomes a Ronin, that is, a samurai without a master. But, as we shall soon reveal, even this cannot stand between a samurai and his code of honor, determination, and above all, his unyielding loyalty. For those of you who are new to the channel, it is our ambition here to explore the code of chivalry, and similarly noble creeds through poetry, both recent and archaic, as this is how we can truly understand the virtues of the past, and use them to shape ourselves, helping to build a better world. If you wish to read today's pieces for yourself, you can find them linked in the description. But now, relax and take heart, for this poetry is the stuff of chivalry. Amano Hachiro, life from 1831 to 1868 AD. In 1868, a new political and social order began in Japan with the Meiji Restoration. The armies of several fiefs rebelled against the Tokugawa shogun, forced him to surrender, and took over Edo, the capital. This put an end to the long rule of the Tokugawa, and governmental authority was restored, in appearance at least, to the emperor. The greater part of the army of the shogunate surrendered, but its fleet retreated to the island of Hokkaido, and continued in its resistance to the new rule until May of 1869. Hachiro, who supported the old regime, tried to join the shogun's forces in Hokkaido, but he was captured and thrown into prison, where he died. These are his final words. Lightning flickers, only in the north. The moon is overcast. The reference to lightning in the north is not only a summer image, but an allusion to the last bulwark of the old regime's supporters in the north of Japan. Arimaru, death in 1703. Little is known about this man but for his final words. Running shallow, with a year's end sound, river rapids. Mokudo, death in 1723. Mokudo tries to use his poetry to blend the fighting spirit of the samurai with the spirit of haiku by giving us an interesting poem. These are his final words. I constantly aspire to be the first to pierce my dagger in the eggplant. The eggplant is a seasonal image for summer, during which the poet died. With the dagger stuck into it, the eggplant symbolizes the enemy's head. As Mokudo explains, in times of war, the samurai were the first to stab their daggers into their enemies. We are familiar with many stories about these bold warriors. Today, peace reigns in the world and warriors no longer go forth into battle. They continue, however, with military exercises, so that in time of need, they will be ready to fight zealously, till word of their courage echoes throughout Japan and the entire world. Okano Kinemon Kanehide, death in 1703. Okano Kinemon Kanehide was one of the 47 samurai who participated in one of the most famous incidents in Japanese history. In 1701, a feudal lord named Asano Nagamori was ordered to hold a reception in honor of the emperor's messenger. A high official by the name of Kira Yoshinaka, who was appointed by the shogun to be in charge of ceremony, was to instruct Asano in ceremonial etiquette. Kira treated Asano with contempt. Asano, his pride wounded, drew his sword and struck Kira. Since the incident took place in the castle at Edo, in the grounds of which the drawing of weapons was strictly forbidden, Asano was ordered to take his own life by seppuku on that very day. He did so. Asano's estate was confiscated by the government, and the shogun rejected the petition brought to him by Asano's retainers to hand over the estate to the younger brother of the deceased. Thus, Atano's warriors became Ronin, samurai without a lord. 47 of them swore to avenge their master by killing Kira. To keep from attracting attention to themselves, they scattered to different parts of the country and waited for the proper moment. It came 2 years later, when Kira began to relax the security measures he had taken to protect himself. On a snowy morning of the second month, 1702, the samurai broke into Kira's mansion and killed him. They then turned themselves over to the government. In taking their revenge, the 47 samurai acted in accordance with the moral code that forbade them to live under the same sky as the enemy of their lord. They gained sympathy in many circles of society, and the shogun himself was inclined to pardon them. In the end, however, those who insisted on enforcing the law prevailed, and a year after the incident took place, all 47 warriors were ordered to kill themselves by seppuku. This event excited the imagination of the Japanese, and the 47 samurai gained an immortal place in the history and the literature of their country. Kanehide was 24 when he died. These are his final words. Over the fields of last night's snow, plum fragrance. Shio, death in 1703. Also known as Otaka Gengo Tadao, Shio is one of the 47 samurai who in the winter of 1703 avenged the death of their master, and who were thus ordered to commit seppuku as punishment. In Shio's death poem, Shide no Yama, Mountain of Death, is the mountain crossed, according to the belief, in the journey from life to death. In a death poem to his mother, he says these words: "Snow on the pines, thus breaks the power that splits mountains." Before seppuku, these are his final words. Surely, there's a tea house with a view of plum trees on Death Mountain too. A poem similar to Shio's was written by Kaiga Yazemon Tomonubo, another of the 47 samurai. The similarity between this poem is less perhaps a sign of Kaiga's smaller talent than a testimony to the friendship between him and Shio. These are his final words. "And won't there be a tea house among cherry blossoms along the way of death?" Shumpan, death in 1703. Shumpan, also known as Tomimori Sukemon Masayori, was one of the 47 samurai who avenged the death of their master and were thus ordered to commit seppuku. The poet takes leave of the world with a haunting image. In the tradition of seppuku, the victim plunges a dagger into his abdomen. Someone else, standing above him, strikes off his head with a mercy blow. These are his final words. The winter foal, ends up with feathers plucked. I hope you have enjoyed today's video and have learned something from this reading on samurai death poetry, and of course, the tale of the 47 Ronin. If you wish to hear more, please like our videos and subscribe to our channel. Peace be with you. Until next time, we speak of chivalry and poetry.